Hi, it's Sean from Lawn Right. How you doing? I'm here today and we're going to be talking about the benefits of spreading compost on your lawn. So why would we even spread compost on our lawns? Well, there's a number of reasons, because compost is one of nature's best organic fertilizers for a start. So you're feeding your lawn. And there's lots of other benefits as well to spreading compost on your lawn, is that it adds in humus, which is where humic acid comes in, and basically it's a natural soil conditioner as well. Some people believe it's also a bit of a natural deterrent as well for pesticides, so it's got a bit of pesticide properties, but I'm on the fence with that one. Personally, I just think it's absolutely fantastic for lawns. If you can spread some compost on your lawn on a regular basis, you'll see the benefits pretty quickly. And it's worth doing it right through the year. Not so much in winter, but once every couple of months through winter just helps it along, get some goodness into the ground. If you've got clay soils, sandy soils, it helps with the soil as well. So over time, it becomes a better quality soil, but not straight away. It's a long-term game. Because you're actually increasing the microbiology in the soil, what you'll end up with is a better quality soil down the line, where there's more earthworms in the soil. Earthworms are a sign of a very healthy, good soil condition, which is what you want to try and achieve really good soil conditions. The better quality soil, the better quality result you will get with how your grass grows. So how much does it cost to get some compost onto your soil, and what tools and equipment are you going to need? Well, you can do it really cheaply if you want. A simple bag of compost, 125 litres, is around £8 a bag. I often use these Verve bags of multi-purpose compost, and these are 125 litres, and they go quite a long way, and they are around the £8 mark. It'll do anywhere between 10 and 20, possibly 30 square metres, depends on how thin you're spreading it. But for the sake of this, 2 or 3 bags of compost and a bit of graft, a bit of hard work, you can get a nicer lawn. So the only other thing you need is either a brush or a rake, something like this, or a lute. You can even improve on a lute by using a plank of wood with some bricks weighed down. I've seen people using pallets as well. If you go onto Premier Lawn's channel, he has used a pallet to work top dressing into lawns. Now, the only other thing I use, which I tend to use most of the time, is a top dresser. Because we're a company and we use commercial grade, we actually use this Bannerman mini top dresser. Now, these aren't cheap, but they do the job well. And when I'm using it every single year, it's paid for itself in the long term. Just makes life so much easier. But if you're doing it for yourself on your own lawn, any of these methods I'm going to show you will help, and you can enjoy the benefits of getting some compost onto your lawn. So, the first step is to clear off any leaves or debris off the lawn. Now, you can see my lawn here, which incidentally we had a bouncer castle on here yesterday, and it's fared pretty well. So we've still got the leaves, so we're going to get these leaves cleared off first. So I'm just going to get the blower out and get those cleared up.
The sun
Ah, if you're thinking of getting pets, yeah, they provide you with so much love. But with pets, we have to scoop the poop, and it messes up your lawn. Right guys, so first thing you're going to need is a great big bag of compost. You get 5 bonus points, 5 bonus points if you can pick one of these up on each shoulder. 10 points for both, 5 for one. If you can keep doing that, I'll give you 50 bonus points. Anyway, so natural fertilizer, natural soil conditioner, soil improver. This stuff is so much better than you think. It's nature's fertilizer and it's completely organic. You're not putting any chemicals on your lawn whatsoever. So it's great for pets, things like that. So what I would normally do on a customer's lawn is I would holotine aerate the lawn first for maximum effect, so that when the top dressing goes on, the compost, some of that goes down the holes and into the ground. So they're down in amongst the ground there. So that goodness is in the ground, and it's not just pure clay soil and it's not just pure sandy soil, depending on your soil type. So you're improving things. So we're getting some good organic goodness in there. Earthworms love this stuff. Earthworms love leaves, decaying matter, and they take it down, digest it. Most species of worms stay under the ground, but there's 2 or 3 species which come up above the surface and deposit their worm casts on the top, which, believe it or not, is actually good for your lawn, but some gardeners find them a bit of a nuisance. However, you've just got to learn to live with them. There are things we can put on which deters them to a degree. Some soil conditioners are not liked or not tolerated by the worms, so they either come up or they go further down to escape. They basically, you see less worm casts. Putting an autumn iron feed on will also help to suppress the worm casts. So it's a good time to put it in just towards the back end of summer to stop any worm casts from beginning to appear. And at the back end of summer anyway, things are getting really wet. You may find you've still got some discoloration from summer, so the iron helps to green things up at the same time. So, how do you want to get this compost on? There's lots of ways really. There's no hard and fast rules. You've just got to get some compost, get it on the lawn and work it in. What you don't want to be doing is smothering the grass. So you want to just a very thin layer, maybe 5 or 10 mil, you know, up to ½ an inch at the very most, depending on whether you're inches or centimetres. It's just a thin layer. And we've got to get it so it's not just sitting there on the grass. You've got to work it in. So there's your grass. You work it in with a rake or a brush so it works its way down to the surface of the soil. Now, ideally with aeration holes, then some of that will go down into the holes, but if you can just get a little bit on top of your soil surface from time to time, every month, every couple of months, monthly in summer, a couple of months during winter, you're just getting some extra goodness in the ground. So, many ways. So you can simply just rip the bag open, make sure it's, you know, safety first, guys, and you can just take a handful and you can go like that between your hands over the whole surface of the lawn. Or you can get a handful and just throw it across the surface of the lawn. You can get your spade in and swing it round. A lot of greenkeepers do this, and the soil then flings across. Or you can create piles dotted about over the surface of the lawn, and those piles can then be spread out and raked around. So the only other thing I'm going to use is my Bannerman mini top dresser, which I'm going to fetch now, and I'm going to show you all these different ways. Okay, so I've got these tools here. Now at the end of the day, you can start with your brush, nice brush, and just work it backwards and forwards. As you can see there, it's no longer sitting on the surface, it's been worked down to the soil surface. So it's not on the grass, it's down to where it needs to be. And that will gradually decompose further. The worms will enjoy the organic material and you're increasing all the goodness in the ground. So that's with the back of the brush. That's the top of the brush. We have another pile there, which you don't want to be doing because that's smothering things. You could rake it about. Personally, I think this is a bit too harsh because you're raking the blades of grass, and at this time of the year, autumn, you don't want to be stressing it out too much, but it's one way to do it. So if we then go for that pile there, you can use one of these gardening rakes, use the back. You can also do this with a normal rake. So you've got that rake there, you can also use a normal rake as long as you've got the straight flat edge on the bottom there. Put the flat edge on and just work it backwards and forwards. That is a lot easier than you think. But again, it's all about how much time you've got. If you're a business, you need the tools that enable you to complete the job properly but efficiently, so it's making it commercially viable. And finally, just quickly turn this around here. So we have the lawn levelling lute. Again, if you're just making a pile, you've got these lawn levelling lutes. You can find fairly cheap ones around. The weight is what's important. So this is solid steel and it's heavy, and it needs to be heavy. And what it does also, and this is handy for when you're applying top dressings on lawn where there's little dips and undulations, when you're putting like a soil or sandy soil on top of your lawn, you can use this, and as it travels across the ground, when there is a dip, the dressing falls down and fills that dip. But you just need to do it in small amounts so that it is not smothering the grass. So with these, again, you just work it backwards and forwards. This one's a bit too heavy to be pulling backwards and forwards, so I generally tend to just walk one way, and if it requires, I will also walk the opposite way and just drag it across. But it all does the same thing. Once you've got your top dressing on, it works it down into the ground. This is something you can do yourself, guys, literally for very little money. And you'll be amazed the difference it makes over a few years when you're getting all this goodness into the ground. Humic acid is an amazing product, natural product, that is so beneficial for your lawns. And this is a natural fertilizer, so you'll be saving money and getting your lawn looking nicer. So what we're going to do now, this is my Bannerman mini top dresser here, and literally it's just a big hopper on the top, which I'll just show you there. It's just a big hopper and a rotating wheel at the bottom with a brush, and we push it along and it deposits top dressing onto the lawn. Drop it onto there. Move this out of the way. As you can see there, guys, just put about half the hopper in there, and we'll just give it a quick push and see how it's coming out. Yeah, you can see how much comes out there. So the next thing is to work this in however you see fit. It's a great workout. Although if you're scarifying by hand, that's another great workout. It's just a great way to treat your lawn for very little cost. Just remember, if you've got pets and this stuff gets really wet, just to give the paws a good wipe before they come back in. But your lawn is going to absolutely love you for this. So I'm going to carry on with the rest of this, and then we'll have a chat. So literally, all I'm going to do is just pull, and then I'm going to push if needs be, like this. So you can see, just going over once, there it's still in and amongst the blades of grass on the surface, where there it has worked down a little bit. But if we go back over again a second time, you can clearly see the difference now. That section has been worked in, that hasn't, and that hasn't. So I'm going to go over this lawn now, get this worked in, and then we'll have a little chat. Right guys, so you can see the difference. It's quite dramatic really. The lawn that's got all the compost on and the lawn that hasn't. And you can just see the difference between the two. It's a darker green, but that's just a temporary thing. So, all done, all worked in, and what will happen is now is very little because of the time of year. October going into November, everything's slowing down. But the grass will use this. The ground will benefit from this. Earthworms are going to love this. And you are increasing microbial activity in the soil, which is all the microorganisms. And all of these little fellas and these little things do wonders for your soil. So enjoy, get some top dressing on your own lawn, and your lawn will thank you for it. Yes, you'll see an increase in things like worms over the years because you are conditioning the soil, and a more conditioned soil increases the microbial action, and that will lead to more worms coming in. Everything the more active your soil, the more beneficial bacteria in your soil, the better the soil environment. And the better the soil environment, the better the turf can utilise available nutrients. And then this in turn creates a happier, healthier grass, which is more resistant to disease and pests. You do this, and an occasional weed killer, pulling out the odd weeds, and you cut regular, you cut on a nice high setting, and regular during the summer, twice a week, possibly 3 times a week, just taking the tops off, this time of the year, as and when required, but possibly once every 3 or 4 weeks. Just a nice light cut on a nice light day, and you can get a nicer lawn. So there you go, guys. I've just turned my lawn brown for you guys. But this is something I do fairly regular. So enjoy. It costs very little to do, just a bit of your time, and you can enjoy the same. See you soon on the next one.